Hi, my name is Łukasz Wójcik. I am the Karo Studio owner. On today's presentation, I would like to introduce you into types of prototypes and creating parallel prototypes. This is the agenda for our today presentation. And first of all, I would like to start with what is the prototyping, the definition of the topic. Next, I would like describe paper and pencil in prototyping. Next, we will say a few. I will tell you a few words about software prototype tools, and next I will give you some advice how to select the right tool. Next, I will describe wireframe mockup and prototypes, and at the end, I will tell you a few words about parallel prototyping. So, what's the prototype? The prototype is an early sample and model of a product which will be built. It's the purpose of building the prototype is to test a concept or process and see how it acts on the environment, and also the prototype can be replicated and can be a source of the knowledge, so we can learn from it. From the business point of view, the prototype gives the information if the product will be have some advantages, and we would like to invest in them. If you start prototype, the most basic tool is paper and pencil. You can just grab the piece of paper and start drawing your vision of the website or application. You can show where will be some part of the elements on the web page. Also, you can give a notes about how those elements will be interact. So that's the basic type of prototype. You can also use some color pencils or color pen to give some color background for prototype. So it's not only paper and pencil, but also you can use some color pen to show to give a more information for other people with your prototype. Also, you can use some yellow stickers or other papers. Yellow stickers are very useful because with a relatively cheap and fast way you can redesign all your site, because you can just take the sticker from one side of the board and you can pin on the other side, and that's how you will interact with the prototype. Also, you can make some notes on the other side of the yellow sticker and leave it for other collaborators, other friends with your team. Also, you can download some templates from the internet which involve ready-to-use web elements, which you can just take the pencil and write on it. It's very, very useful. If you don't like drawing or yellow sticker, you can use software prototype tools, which are ready for building prototypes. The most common and very easy to use is HTML and CSS, but you must know how to write HTML scripts and JavaScript. If you don't like writing code, you can use FrontPage or Flash. And if you don't like those programs, those software, you can use graphic software just like a GIMP, Photoshop, or even TTP software just like Adobe InDesign. On the market, you can also download a lot of prototype tools which are focused on the prototyping. There are desktop or online version. There's plenty of them. So if you would like to pick one of tool, you should check if is this tool easy to learn, because many of them are big, huge tools. And if you would like to create simple prototype, maybe you should use the easier tool. Also, you should check if this tool supports prototypes for example, for mobile application, because you would like to build a mobile application, but some tools just only give you ability to build a web prototype. Next, you should check if you can use reusable templates or widgets, because many prototypes are common or share common values or products, and you can just download the widget, for example, for login, and use in the multiple sites, multiple views. Another thing you should check is the prototype easy to change. In the ideal world, you should change on the fly. So if you want to change some elements of the prototype, it should appear on the prototype for all users and on the final prototype. Also, you should check collaboration features if you want to use it with your teammates. And the last one is licensing terms and cost, because many of tools are ready for use. They are free, but they have some limitations, and it can be really big problem for you if you build prototype but you cannot save it or email. So check this and choose the right tool. The first step, when you select the tool, it will be create the wireframe. It's the first step of the process design. It's a relatively simple and very raw technique. You just describe the structure of the web page. You just notice where the components and which components will be on the page. And it's very basic prototyping. Most sophisticated type of prototypes are mockups. They are focused on the visual design elements on the site. They are very close or identical to the actual final site design. You can see where will be the logo on the page, where will be the search text box, and maybe the tag cloud or other web elements. They may include the actual graphics and typography from the original page, but it's not obligatory. And mostly the mockups are single images. They are not interactive. If you would like to build an interactive model, you should build prototype. The prototype contains a semi-functional web page or application layout for a mockup. It's very good for users, because they can actually see and feel the user experience of the final product. So the prototype must simulate how the site will work. Also, the prototype may contains the final design elements. It should be interactive, and you can also see that the many prototypes are simply HTML and CSS websites, or with JavaScript, or they are interactive PDF files. If you start prototyping, you have two approach. You can use a serial prototyping or parallel prototyping. Serial prototyping is the simplest way of the prototype, because you are working on the single one prototype, and you show onto the other people, to the audience. They give you a feedback, and you create the other prototype. And if you want use another approach, is the parallel. The parallel have two ways. You can work with another designers on the one or more designs. You work separately. Then you show your work, and you will speak about this project, this prototypes. You gather the feedback and start another iteration of the prototyping. And you also the second way is that one designer creates multiple designs. So you are the single design and you create multiple designs. You show other audience to give a feedback, to gather feedback, and you can redesign and create a few more prototypes. This slide show how what is the difference between serial and prototyping and parallel prototyping. On the left you see on the left top you see the serial prototyping approach, when you create one prototype separately, and at the bottom of this left side you see the parallel prototyping, when you create a few prototypes on each iteration. So you can build a lot of prototypes at the one iteration. I found some interesting notes about parallel prototyping. The people who use it, they noticed that the quality of the design was much more higher than serial prototype, because the designers can more diversify their designs. They can build more prototypes which were completely different, and so the final product was very polished. And also from the point of view of the designers, the reaction to critics were much more less stressful in parallel prototyping, because the designer create a few prototypes, not only the one, and from their point of view, if they create a few, the critics was not so stressful if audience reject a few of their work. So thank you for your attention.